Hey gang, thanks for hanging with the Mechanic Ninja today. Today I'm going to show you how to install a new carburetor on a Tecumseh 5 horsepower engine. This machine is a yard machine, but they put the Tecumsehs on a lot of different brands. So if you have a Tecumseh on your snowblower, and if it's a yard machine or happens to be a different brand, this video is for you. In my other videos I've shown you how to clean a Tecumseh carburetor. So for those of you that don't want to purchase a new carburetor but want to clean your own, check out my other videos. This video is showing you how to install a brand new one. The reason that I am installing a brand new one on this one is if you're going to get into this big time doing small engines, sometimes it is worth the $20 just to buy a brand new carburetor and throw it on and be done with it. Sometimes when you're cleaning them, it takes a lot longer to clean them and get them running correctly, but sometimes it is definitely worth the time to clean them. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to install a new one. I'll put down in the comments the carburetor that I'm using, but you can go on Amazon, type in Tecumseh 5 horsepower engine carburetor, and you can find one on there. Make sure you read the reviews. I'll put this one on in the comments, or in the description or comments below. I've had good luck with this brand. They're a good quality carburetor. So let's get right into it. I'm going to move you up here forward. Okay, what you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver and a 5/16 socket. Okay, so up on top, make sure you guys can see, there's a bolt right here on top. Go ahead and unscrew that. That's usually a 5/16. Mine does not have to come all the way out because it's just a slit. Check and see if yours does. If it doesn't, leave it like that, it'll come right out. Then there's two screws right here on the side. Mine happen to be Phillips. Sometimes they're straight screwdriver, and sometimes they're a 5/16 like this one up here. Go ahead and set them aside in a safe place. Okay, next thing you want to grab is a flat-headed screwdriver. And we're going to be over here in the back. Sorry, let me move you right here so you can see what I'm doing. Back here, where your choke button is, go ahead and pry that off. Be very careful. When it comes out a little bit, you can get it with your fingers. Come off like that. Go ahead and set that aside. Let's see. Okay, next thing you want to do is slowly move this out. You can see there's that post that we just took that button off of. Go ahead and bring it this way and kind of finagle it. You have this wire right here hooked to your kill switch. Just go ahead and let it come down and sit like that. I don't really like taking that off if I don't have to. In this video, I'm going to leave it on. Like every time you work on a gasoline engine, make sure you're in a good ventilated area. You have eye protection, and you have a good way to dispose of your gasoline. This one has no gas in it, so it shouldn't leak at all. With yours, you might want to, below your gas tank, there's sometimes a shutoff valve. Turn that valve off, but still put a catch basin underneath your snowblower to catch the gas so you can properly dispose of it. Also, you can put a clamp, hose clamp right there, but it's really up to you. Just make sure you dispose of it correctly. Okay, next thing you're going to need is a 7/16 and a 3/8 open-ended wrench. So go ahead and grab that. And also you're going to need some pliers and a small flat-headed screwdriver. Let me bring you down here so you can see. Okay, what we want to do next is take off your gas line. Mine is tucked way underneath there, so I'm just going to grab it like this and kind of turn it. Okay, you want to get to where you can grab those little pinch things. Ooh, it looks like mine's broke. So I'm just going to bend mine off like that. Be very careful. You don't want to hurt your gas line. if yours have snapped off like mine, then there's really no way of getting it off in a clean way. Let's try to be super careful not to hit that gas line. Okay, cool. Now that it's pushed back there, I can just take my little screwdriver. Okay, that's, if yours is an older machine like this, then that might be seized on there. So go ahead and just twist your gas line a little bit. You do not want to tear it. Go ahead and just put a little pressure on it. Grab with your pliers and push on it. Back and forth, back and forth. And grab a flat-headed screwdriver. Sometimes these gas lines are so old that it's going to be hard to get off without damaging. I do not want to, but sometimes they do get damaged. You can avoid it. You do not want to damage it. I'm glad I'm running into this just so you can see how to do it if this is happening to you. Okay, I'm gonna try a different thing. Sometimes you can pull these out, grab onto that like that, and just pull it out like that. That way we can just get it out of our way. We're gonna come back to that later. That's an easier way to do it. Okay, now we're gonna be working right down here. Right down here with your 3/8 and 7/16 wrenches. The front is a 7/16. The back is the 3/8. So usually you don't have to use your 3/8, but sometimes you run into a stubborn one. So just go ahead and lefty loosey on this. Okay, this one's being stubborn. I'm just gonna push my gas line up there out of my way. Go ahead and get that onto my 7/16. Hopefully yours is going a lot easier than this one, but like I said, it's good to take videos of the stubborn ones. Very good idea to have nitro gloves on. Okay, once you get it to a certain point, then you can just get it off with your finger. Okay, now we're gonna go over to the other side, do the same thing. Righty tighty. Loosey still. Sometimes you can even just put your finger back there to hold that bolt from spinning. Okay, get that last one off. Okay, so on yours you may have your primer bulb line still hooked in. If you do, it will be right here. And go ahead and pull off that primer bulb tube. Be very careful with it. Go ahead and work it back and forth. Pry on it with your flat-headed screwdriver. Try not to damage that, but sometimes they do get damaged. But mine was already off and broken. So, kind of take a mental note here of where this linkage is hooked in. So it's hooked in the middle one. If we're counting 1, 2, 3, it's in the middle one. That big one really isn't a adjustment hole, but we're gonna count it. It's in the middle one. Go ahead and take off your, and that's how you take it off. You just turn it and then out. Let this guy just hang. And also take a mental note where he is in case he does come out. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pull these screws out right here. This guy should just come right off now. Okay, go ahead and set this aside, or in a bucket, or in something that can catch the gas that comes out of it. And go ahead and grab yourself a little rag. And clean up this area right here. Okay, so once you got that all clean, go ahead and grab your new carburetor. And it should look like this. Match it up to your other one, make sure it looks the same. First thing you want to do is, sometimes these bolts in the bottom come loose. So go ahead and grab a 1/2 inch socket and make sure that it is tight. Okay, next thing you want to do is grab this that came off of your other one. Go ahead and wipe it down. Get this clean as you can with a rag. And then we're going to install it. So I'll take it like this, stick it up underneath there, make sure it's in there. Take your screws and tighten them down. All you need to do is have this is snug. Perfect. Good, make sure this moves freely. Perfect. Okay, next thing you want to do is get out your gasket that came with your new carburetor kit. And go ahead and pull these screws, these bolts out, and put this on. One thing that you're going to run into is when you're putting this on, it's going to push those bolts back a little bit. So make sure they are completely as far out as they can be. And then the next thing we're going to run into is this. See how this one's angled up? And my other one was angled straight back. Okay. See how that one's angled straight back? This one's angled up. Go ahead and grab this with your pliers, and we're going to pull it down. Sometimes it can be a little tough, but they do have that adjustment. Okay, a little bit farther. Okay, perfect. Now remember, it was in the middle one, so go ahead and re-put on your linkage. Boom. What I like to do is take these two fingers and put them on the back sides of these bolts so that when I push this on, I do not push it back. Go ahead and grab the nut for this side. Keep your finger on the back of that bolt and just slowly tighten it, get it started on that bolt. Okay, grab the other nut and put it on this one. This one's the more tricky one. You don't want to put that gas line on yet though, until you get these tightened on, or it will give you a nightmare. Okay, go ahead and tighten them with your fingers till they come a little snug. Then grab your 7/16 and put your finger on the back of that. Slowly start tightening it. Get that one snugged. Then come over here to this one and get it snug. Go ahead and move that gas line out of your way. Okay, now that they're both snug, now go ahead and start to tighten them down. Don't want to over tighten it, you just want a good pressure on it like that. Okay. Put your finger on the back there, mine started to slip for a second. And when I put my finger on the back, it was able to catch. Okay, next thing, if you need to replace your primer bulb and or your primer bulb line, like me, remember mine down here was broken off. Take your flat-headed screwdriver, go ahead and pick this out, like so, and then bring it out. Okay, grab your new one from your kit. These are the ones they send in the kit. Usually they're not long enough. So if you can go ahead and try yours in the kit, but if it ends up not being long enough, just take this to your local auto store and get a longer one for what you need on your machine. What you'll have is, I haven't got one this long. Take it and feed it over the nipple on your primer bulb. Get it all the way up. And then what we're looking at back here is this hole right here. Go ahead and feed your new line through there. And then what we're looking for now is we're trying to get it through here. See where it's coming through right there? Go ahead and stick your finger up there and bring it through like this. Go slow, you do not want to damage that line. And it goes underneath that one like that. Goes underneath your gas line. Make sure that on your machine, it is in a safe area. It's not touching your exhaust. It's not touching any other parts down there that could harm your machine or get too hot on your primer bulb line. Go ahead and pop this back in. There's two holes that it pops into, like so. And then just kind of let that hang. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to your gas line. And mine still has this silliness going on, if you remember. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get that off. Use a little bit of a flat-headed screwdriver. Just bend it out, bring it off. Now earlier, I think I didn't put this in the video, I apologize. This was stuck in there, if you remember correctly. All I did was grab it with this pliers like this, hold on to that line and kind of work it back and forth. Hopefully it comes out for you. If it doesn't, then what I also did was stick this in there. While this was in there, I stuck my flathead screwdriver in there to kind of wiggle around and get it out. They should send some new hose clamps in your kit. Of course, they're too small, or they'll send these. You can use one of these. So just go ahead and put that over there, kind of bring it in a little bit. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna reinstall your gas line. And how you do that is you're going to bend it up. So I'm gonna bend it up and back to get it over there, and then I'm just gonna push down on it. Clamp slid back, so grab your clamp so it doesn't slide back, and then go like that. Okay. Sometimes you'll need to scoot them up, so go ahead and grab it with your pliers. You guys can't see that. Let me come on this side. Grab it with your pliers gently and slowly pull on it, tug it forward. You want it as far up as you can get it, like so. And then it looks like this guy is a Phillips head screwdriver. So grab your Phillips head. Tighten your clamp down. If you have one of the other ones, they're a lot better. Or a lot easier, I mean. They both do a great job, but the other one you just clamp on. Okay, make sure to angle it out like that so you can get to it. And go ahead and just snug it. You do not want to hurt that gas line. Snug it like that. Perfect. Okay. And then from here on out, all we do is I'm going to reattach this primer line. And your primer line nipple is right there. So go ahead and see how long yours needs to be. If you bought a new one, go ahead and clip it, send it back on. Okay, boom, we have a new primer line and bulb that's going to work perfectly. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're just putting it back together the way we took it off. So go ahead and get this guy to come up. And main thing is getting this guy through and then lining it up here. Okay. Zoom you guys out so you can see. Okay, so just kind of work your way around here. Okay. And then you're looking here to make sure these are lined up, and you're making sure that's lined up as well. If it feels a little tight, sometimes your new primer line is pushing a little bit on. Because my primer line, I went a little bigger than the last one. A little longer, so I had more play. So it might put a little bit more extra tension on that cover, but nothing to be worried about. So go ahead and take your Phillips screwdriver and reattach this cover. Just get them started. Don't want to tighten down everything until we have everything started good. Okay, that one I tightened down. I'll go ahead and tighten down these front ones. Okay, perfect. A lot of times these new kits will come with a new one of these. Sometimes they don't. Mine didn't. A lot of times they do though. Go ahead and push that back on. Go ahead and try it out. Make sure that turns freely. And your machine is back together. Go ahead and put some gas in it, fire it over. It should have no problems. Every once in a while, you'll come across a lemon carburetor that will leak. That's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes you get the bad lemon carburetor. But 90% of the time, it's a great carburetor and will get your machine up and running great. If for some reason you get a bad carburetor, send it back and they'll send you a new one. But you should have a good running machine right now. Make sure you check the oil before you start your machine. Check and make sure it's got gas, and your machine should fire right over. Hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. You guys have a great day. You can go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks.